Las Vegas is many things to many people. For those in the broadcast industry, it's a giant toy store, as thousands in the biz headed one of the largest broadcast conventions in the world. So, you knew that Simon Bennett and those associated with the lab could not resist a quick trip down to Vegas to check out some of the sports TV goodies. And what they found, at least in part one, was the latest on-screen enhancement, with a first-time glimpse for most of us. Here's Simon.
Hey folks, welcome to a fresh edition of The Lab. We are at Las Vegas, folks, for NAB 2006. It's billed as the largest electronic news media gathering convention in the world. Lots of stuff here for sports media, sports TV. We'll show you what we came up with in the next few weeks, starting with these guys, Orad High-Tech Systems. If you think First and 10 is cool, you're about to be blown away.
Well, Cybersport is a revolutionary system that was designed 8 years ago. It takes care about everything that has to do with tracking of cameras during sports events, which allows us to do virtual advertisement and sports enhancement features.
The method of tracking is pattern recognition, video detection. We actually detect the lines and the lines of the field, and based on that and on the video movement, we produce tracking, which allows us to put tracked graphical objects on the field. We could measure ball speed, for example. We have time code, so we have time and distance, so we calculate speed. Now we'll do a trajectory of the ball, marking a few keyframes on the ball as it flies. If I want to see if there was an offside or not, I just click. Wherever I click, I can have a line.
In horse racing, we are doing real-time tracking of the horses, kind of similar to what you see in NASCAR. NASCAR is not our application, but kind of what you see in NASCAR, we are doing that for horse racing. We are tracking the horses in an accuracy of about 20 centimeters.
But for Orad, the real gem of their operation is their virtual advertising. They were the first to do fake ad boards by the goals in soccer, but what they do now is far beyond that. Crisp virtual graphics that look ridiculously real. How'd they do that?
The backbone of the system lays our HDVG. This is our video rendering platform. It is a very powerful machine. It can feed in a lot of graphics in real time, and that's the secret behind the quality of the graphics that you see on the system.
What else do you want to know? Click on www.thescore.ca/thelab to find out more. Hey folks, welcome to another edition of The Lab at NAB in Las Vegas. If you look around here, HD is growing by leaps and bounds, and now the sound is catching up. We're talking 7.1 surround sound. If you're watching golf, the crowd's actually behind you, the guys playing in front of you. The big guys behind us are Holophone. They're homegrown, based in Toronto.
You want to be at the game, but it costs $300 to get to the game at the ACC. So what our microphone does, you place it down at the first camera position, which is where it's been placed, and it's been moved around. But you place the microphone at the first camera position, and you capture the ambience of sitting in that spot. The difference is noticeable. The feedback is typically, wow, I feel like I'm there.
All right, now before we move on, we should explain how this is different than before. Now, a conventional mic that you see on TV brings in one channel. So when you see a score mic, you know, the one with the big S on it, poked in front of somebody in postgame, that's coming in one channel. Now, most broadcast cameras come with a second mic attached near the lens, so you get a bit of the background sound on the second channel. The Holophone comes with wiring for 6 different channels with sensors pointed in all directions. That's how you get a more accurate ambiance of the game.
Traditionally, in a golf venue, they don't have the ability to send 6 channels of audio to every single hole on the course, but they do have the ability to do stereo via wireless or via an actual wire. And with our device, which takes surround sound and encodes 6 channels of surround sound onto a stereo pair, you could place one of our Holophone Super Mini devices on every hole, and you could, if it was placed correctly, you would have the feeling of a quiet golf course in front of you and a crowd behind you, and it would feel like you're sitting at the hole with the people that are actually there.
Holophone is quickly becoming a Canadian success story. They've done Super Bowls and are getting calls from around the world. They were even recognized for their innovation at NAB. And as HD continues to catch on, surround sound is expected to as well.
We are a perfect match, and traditionally HD has as HD's sort of come into play, surround to some extent has been left to the sidelines because it's a difficult prospect and it's something that takes time to figure out how to do properly. And our products are changing that because it makes it extremely simple to put a device
Expected to as well.
We are a perfect match, and traditionally HD as HD's sort of come into play, surround to some extent has been left to the sidelines because it's a difficult prospect and it's something that takes time to figure out how to do properly. And our products are changing that because it makes it extremely simple to put a device in that will capture your surround sound and do what's intended in an HD broadcast.
What else do you want to know? Click on www.thescore.ca/thelab to find out more. Hey everybody, welcome to a fresh edition of The Lab in Las Vegas. Again, we're at NAB, the world's largest electronic media show. It's so specialized, there's even a company here that just makes telestrators. Yeah, we talked to the guys at Point Maker, and they gave us a rundown of how it works.
The American football is where it really started from. There's so much action going on. And for somebody as a color commentator broadcasting the game to try to convey to the audience what he was trying to talk about, calling out of one player or one play was difficult for the audience to understand. So with the ability to have a pointer, basically, I could draw the attention to the home audience on what's going on.
Guys like John Madden and the czar, Mike Fratello, have made the telestrator part of their shtick, but they're not alone. Watch any sport and you'll find somebody who uses one even when he shouldn't. And it's actually pretty simple. It operates from your basic PC. According to the guys at Point Maker, all it takes is a special pen called a stylus and a smart board, which kind of acts as a sophisticated mouse pad. You do whatever you want to do on the smart board and it shows up on the screen. There are other ways. In fact, Madden prefers to just use his finger over a giant plasma. They just place a thin 42-inch touchscreen over the screen to make it work in the same way. The Point Maker themselves, Madden isn't even their biggest customer.
Where we gain from being in the broadcast market is credibility. If we can say John Madden, ABC, CBS, ESPN is using our product, when we go to the corporate customer and say you're going to have the same capability that you saw Monday night, it really gives us a leg up.
The technology has also progressed. The graphics look much better than they did, say, 10 years ago, and of course, like everyone else we talked to in Vegas, HD is their next big step. What else do you want to know? Click on www.thescore.ca/thelab to find out more. Hey everybody, and welcome to a fresh edition of The Lab once again in Las Vegas. Sometimes a camera has to go where a man can't, or if the man can get there, might need a bit of help. That's where companies like eGripman come in. They don't make the cameras themselves, but they make the support equipment, the rigs, the remotes that get the cameras where they need to be. In sports broadcasting, it leads to some great shots that you see every day. We got a guided tour.
As sporting events and the broadcast of sporting events became more sophisticated over the years, they wanted shots that were more difficult to get or more dangerous to get. We can get shots with these remote heads by putting cameras in places where it would be dangerous or impossible to put a cameraman. They expect those shots on television today, and there's no way you can get those shots with a human cameraman. You need a remote camera such as these. We have a variety of ways we can control these small heads, from joystick to pan bars. These controls can be as much as 2 or 3 kilometers away from the heads. We have the larger heads, like some of these. You won't find many arenas in America that won't have these hanging from the scoreboard on all your look down, your high shots. We also built a wide variety of jib arms that have an obvious application in sports, again, so we can pan a camera and we can get it up high. This is a fairly simple jib that is one of our later jibs because it's so modular. We can set it up at a variety of lengths, from very short to about 10 feet, and put the camera up there and use it either remotely or manually. These telescoping cranes, the application might not be real obvious for sports, Think of the shots you can get when you can telescope out and rise like that over a running sport event. The direction we're going in is to meet the demand for more sophisticated coverage. Years ago, if you watched an auto race, you barely saw any of the auto race on TV. And today you see everything that occurs. And it's the same thing. Years ago, you would miss half the action watching a soccer event on television. Today, if you miss anything, you're upset as a fan. And that's the demand that's driving our innovation of new equipment.
What else do you want to know? Click on thescore.ca/thelab and find out more. There was a time when if you watched a game, you didn't know what the score was until someone told you. Well, those days are long gone. In 1994, Fox invented the bug, the live scoring at the corner of the screen. At the time, it was believed it would encourage constant channel surfing, but it has since become a necessity for live games. There's even a company based in Southern Cal that just makes these. 50-year TV vet Howard Zuckerman gave us a peek into how it works.
We show the score, the time, left, and depending on what's for football, it also will show the game clock, and on basketball it will show the shot clock. Once you set it up, you then run everything on the what we call the F keys. The unit also will plug into a scoreboard in the stadium or arena, and the stadium arena scoreboard will run our unit. So you could sit back and watch it do its thing. It's amazing to do a basketball game, and then all of a sudden, with 9 seconds left, the shot clock appears, and we'll count down to 0, and bang, it'll disappear.
The biggest strength of Scorebox is its simplicity, operating from just your average PC.
We also are able to load into the unit like 30 different sponsored graphics. And the one advantage that we have is that the client can completely load the box himself. He doesn't have to send the graphic to somebody else to have them send it back in a program. We've loaded graphics in less than a half an hour prior to air and had it on the air.
What else do you want to know? Click on www.thescore.ca/thelab for more. As we continue to look around, it's becoming evident that you can do without your TV to watch highlights. We've talked about it before for your PC in recent months, but it's also becoming a huge part of the mobile multimedia boom.
Sports and news are really the drivers behind mobile. Entertainment, people are going to sit at home, they're going to sit back, watch what's going on. But sports and news, that's something you want to keep up to date with every minute. In the next year, I think the North American market is really going to take off. I think one of the things you're going to see is with the World Cup in June, that is really going to be the marriage of mobile marketing and a major sporting event. Because now you've got something that's 2 billion devices worldwide and the most popular sport in the world. And the combination of the two of those is really going to, I think, extend the limits of mobile marketing in that sense.
Now, companies like U-Turn are the ones in charge of getting the content on the mobiles. It's done in many different ways. Small teams might just go with WAP, that's literally a web page designed for the phone. Or they could have a third party make the site for them. It depends on the needs of the team.
We'll go to the University of Wisconsin and get all the Badger information and put that on. In other instances, we'll be talking to the leagues or to teams. So for instance, let's say the Coyotes, something like that, are pushing, they've got a very visionary management team there. They'd really like to get into the new media space. They'll do it individually and then bring that to the league as a whole.
Of course, the mobile market is booming right now with the technology. You can even download highlights for your iPod now, but these guys think TV will always have its place.
They always refer to the computer as the lean-forward technology over the keyboard. Television's that lean back on the couch and watch what's going on. The mobile phone is lean forward, lean back, get up, walk across the street, go down to the store, get a gallon of milk, and come back home technology. And in that sense, it's with us everywhere. It's interactive and it's personal. And that's why it's going to really I think, surpass a lot of technologies.
What else do you want to know? Click on www.thescore.ca/thelab to find out more.